Good evening. The San Dimas City Council meeting for Tuesday, November 24th will come to order. Pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order dated March 17, 2020, the City Council is authorized to hold public meetings via teleconferencing and to make meetings accessible electronically to all members of the public seeking to observe and to address the legislative body. All Brown Act provisions that require the physical presence of City Council members or the public for City Council meetings are waived. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First off, I'd like to apologize to the general public that's viewing this tonight's. We're sorry that the City Council was involved in a study session with the Planning Commission and City Joint Planning Commission and the City Council, and it ran a few minutes over. Subsequently, we're starting a few minutes late, and I do apologize. Do we need to read? Everybody's here, so we don't need to.
No.
Roll call. Okay. Presentations. Recognize the Los Angeles County Sanitation District's good corporate citizens.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Lauren Marshall. I'm with the Public Works Department. And if you want, let me just go back real quick. So tonight we're here to recognize the community's business partners for their 2019 industrial waste compliance. And in August 2020, the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts recognized 432 companies with certificates for being good corporate citizens for the year 2019. These companies have met their limits for wastewater discharge for at least a year, maintained their environmental equipment, and fulfilled all permit requirements. Of these companies, four are in the city of San Dimas. So this is also a program that's been around for 24 years. So it's a big honor for our 4 out of 5 possible businesses to be in compliance. To protect public health and the environment, the sanitation district's industrial dischargers, they ensure that their wastewater meets or exceeds regulatory requirements. The treatment that these companies provide before discharging wastewater to our sewer system allows the sanitation districts to operate more effectively for all ratepayers, so keeping our rates nice and low. So our first business is Gilead, and they fall into the sanitation district's categorical facilities for pharmaceutical manufacturing. You've probably all heard of them. They are actually required to adhere to more stringent requirements with federal discharge limits, and in addition to our local and state mandates as well. This is also one of the local businesses working to combat COVID-19, so we're really appreciative of the fact that they're in our city. In fact, the Senior Director, Scott Petlick, and Associate Director, Scott Burgess, let me know that they would be watching this evening because they appreciate the recognition that the city is affording them for this compliance. And our next business is Hamilton Sunstrand. They fall under the categorical facilities for metals, so they're also adhering to those more stringent guidelines. They're also developing new technologies. So this is a global company, and they're among the largest suppliers of technologically advanced aerospace and industrial products. Their 3 major business areas are aircraft systems for commercial and military, industrial and energy, and space and defense. And then we have Organic Milling, and they're a significant discharger, but they're not required or not subject to the federal limits. The company manufactures customized breakfast cereal and granola products. It offers customized specialty items with private labeling, contract licensing, and branding services. They also serve federally assisted meal programs throughout the United States. They were founded in 1960, and they're actually headquartered right here in San Dimas. And their president, Corey Olson, also contacted me regarding the recognition and said he'd be watching the presentation this evening. And our fourth business is Western Pacific Storage Systems. They're a nationwide manufacturer of shelving and storage systems for business, industry, and government applications. The company has 3 manufacturing facilities and 3 distribution centers across the United States. They also fall under the categorical facilities for metals and have been providing storage solutions in the industry for more than 15 years, and they're also headquartered right here in San Dimas. They're also the only company of the 4 recognized this evening to have received this honor for 3 consecutive years. So that's also a really big deal. So the city would like to commend all 4 of these companies for their commitment to being good environmental stewards as they work in partnership with city and sanitation district staff. The recognition program demonstrates how industry and local government can work cooperatively to protect public health and the environment in a business-friendly way. And the city of San Dimas will be presenting each business with a proclamation, just showing our appreciation in general. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something, Mayor?
Sure.
I just wanted to, the companies that were recognized, thank you so much for all your efforts and compliance in each one of those areas to get this recognition. It's very difficult to get compliance in some of these areas, and to be able to see organizations such as yours be leaders in this area is huge. So thank you so much, congratulations, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Okay, oral communications. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Council on any item not on the agenda. Under the provisions of the Brown Act, the legislative body is prohibited from taking or engaging in discussions or any item not appearing on the posted agenda. However, your concerns may be referred to a staff or set for discussion at a later date. If you desire to address the City Council on items on the agenda other than the scheduled public hearings, you may do so at this time or ask to be heard when the agenda item is considered. Comments on public hearings items will be considered when the item is scheduled for discussion. The public comment period is 30 minutes. Each speaker shall be limited to a 3-minute time. I'm being told we have 2 calls at this time.
Thank you for calling. Please state your name, and your 3 minutes starts now.
I don't want to leave my name, but basically I do have a question for Councilman Vienna, and I wanted to give him the opportunity to clear this up. But I've heard from a couple of different people that your dad was kicked out of Marcelino's barbershop for making some racist comments. And if that was true, I kind of wanted to see if you had the same racial views that your father has, and I would hope that you would go ahead and address this during your comments at the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Please state your name, and your 3 minutes starts now.
Good evening, City Council and member of the audience. About 3 days ago during the weekend at midnight, there was loud racing going on near Villa Verde. Some members of the community thought it was only happening on San Dimas Avenue, others on the 57 freeway. I would argue that around the time of the shutdown, April, May-ish, did I observe this happening, and around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., it would happen for a couple seconds and dissipate. This weekend, it felt like there was much more of it than usual. I just wanted to bring this to the council's attention, since people like these are a big public safety risk, especially for those who work late and come home. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you.
No more.
No more calls? We'll give it a few seconds. Nothing, John? All right, then we'll go to the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion unless members of the City Council request separate discussion.
I move approval. No changes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, we'll move on to other business. A verbal report from the city manager, COVID-19.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, City Council. COVID-19 update, the new Los Angeles County Health Order was released last week and would go into effect, some parts of it, on Wednesday. As new COVID-19 cases remain at high levels and a number of people that are being hospitalized continues to increase, restrictions on dining at restaurants, breweries, wineries, and bars will take effect Wednesday, November 25th at 10 p.m. Restaurants, breweries, wineries, and bars will only be able to offer takeout, drive-through, and delivery services. Wineries and breweries may continue their retail operations adhering to current protocols, and in-person dining will, per the guidelines that came out, will not be allowed at a minimum for the next 3 weeks. There was an LA County Board of Supervisors meeting this morning where the public health officer's recommendations were discussed. It was recommended by Supervisor Catherine Barger and Janice Hahn to continue to allow businesses to operate outdoors. But with a 3-2 vote, the Board of Supervisors reaffirmed the public health officer's recommendations to close outdoor dining. With that, as of today in San Dimas, according to LA County Public Health Dashboard, there have been a total of 822 cases in San Dimas, up 168 from 2 weeks ago. 9,612 tests have been completed, up by roughly 1,000 from 2 weeks ago. And there remains to be 15 total deaths in San Dimas, which has been the same for over a month. To view a full summary of the COVID-19 pandemic disaster response and information is available on their dashboard on their website. And that concludes my update.
Thank you. Anybody want to ask Brad any questions concerning this?
I just will say at the COVID-19 update that I want to thank staff for working with all of our businesses the way you have since March, since we've had to deal with all of this. I also want to thank all of our restaurants and everyone else who is painstakingly dealing with the most recent actions of the Board of Supervisors and the Public Health Officer's order. I think that many of our local businesses, specifically our restaurants, worked diligently and did their best efforts to be able to put up the barriers and abide by as many of the health orders as possible, complying with a lot of different hoops that they had to go through or jump through over the last short while. So we'll see where we go, but it doesn't go unnoticed. And I hope everybody continues to patronize our businesses who are going to be struggling. And I've already heard from a couple people that their business will likely not recover. So we'll see what happens, but keeping everybody in our prayers. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been dealing with the last couple of days with Supervisor Barger's office. We forwarded a letter from San Dimas and Laverne requesting that they reevaluate it. Quite honestly, we've received support from Catherine Barger and Janet Hahn, and the reality is that the county health official has deemed that we have to go through this. Unfortunately, I've received, since, say, 1 o'clock this afternoon, I've received no less than 20 calls from different businesses, and big, small, little, and to the man, the little business that are calling says, we're not going to be able to survive. So unfortunately, the health department, we can't do anything here at the city level. We're part of the county health. One of the phone calls was, hey, why aren't you doing something like Pasadena? Standing up and disobeying. Well, we don't have the right to disobey. City of Pasadena has their own health department, their own health official, and we don't. And we will have to abide what the county says, and we just hope and pray that we can come up with some little way to help some of these small businesses. And I believe there's issues coming down the line that we'll be discussing. Okay? City manager, goal line update.
Yes, Mayor, City Council. The contractor is working on getting the Gladstone Crossing open by Wednesday at close of business in time for the Thanksgiving holiday and Black Friday. They poured curbs and gutters this past Saturday and Sunday, and they still have final paving, striping, and signage to install before the crossing can be open. As of 3:45 p.m. today, Goal Line has indicated that Gladstone will be open by Thanksgiving Day, which is exciting. Prior to opening, all safety items must be installed. And even though that it's going to be open, the contractor is going to have to come back and do some minor work, but the traffic will be allowed to go through that crossing. Other things that are going on is that the contractors requested a blanket approval for work double shifts at each of the crossings, which would be a 17-hour day. This would mean working from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 12:01 a.m. Monday through Friday for the duration of the work at the crossings. The daytime shifts are being requested to also work on Saturdays, and Sunday overnight work would take place at the request of the contractor. It was requested by the contractor that double shifts would last as long as the construction or the crossings are under construction, which could be 3 to 6 months. And as the crossings within San Dimas are within a few hundred feet of residents, the city has denied this request for blanket approval of double shifts. If they come up with strategies where they could reduce the length of construction drastically, and we could allow on special occasions longer double shifts, that's one thing, but to just allow blanket approval throughout the entire project is a huge inconvenience to our residents. So with that, staff continues to work with Goal Line and the contractor, the best approach for the city and our residents. In addition, the city of Glendora has required only a single shift closure, so the same as us. The cities of Laverne and Pomona did allow the double shift work, and largely because of the location of those crossings aren't hundreds of feet from residents. So we're working with Gold Line, but the future schedule is still being adjusted based on their desire to work double shifts. And with that, that concludes my Gold Line update.
Any questions?
Mayor, actually, I wanted one COVID-19 thing. Can I go back to that for a second? Brad or Jeff, out of sheer curiosity, just so I can say we looked into every option, is it possible to contract for a public health officer? Like if we wanted to explore reaching out to City of Pasadena, for example, and discuss what it would take to have a public health officer and fall under that through contract, is that possible?
I think because Long Beach and Pasadena are the only two cities in the county that have a health officer, I think it's probably something that you have to be a charter city in order to do for yourself. Otherwise, you have to follow the county. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I believe that's the case. So I don't know the answer right now, but we could get back to you.
Yeah, can you look into that and get back to me? I'm just, it's very interesting where you have two health officers of the three, taking a different lens or a different look at the whole situation. And it's just hard to imagine that, we have our businesses out here in the San Gabriel Valley, that have weathered the storm and done a lot of things, I think, to mitigate community spread. And then, Long Beach is completely on the other side of the world as well, and seem to be looking at all the same data, right? Throughout the county as well as within their own jurisdiction. So I know when you look at the numbers for some of the cities here on the East San Gabriel Valley, they're different than some of the numbers in downtown Los Angeles and some of the other more densely populated areas. So I appreciate you guys looking into that. If you can email me that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Brad, you're saying that the goal line on Gladstone is supposedly going to be open by Thanksgiving Day. Okay. With that being said, and I realize that our public works staff are not dealing with, they're monitoring, but does our people have any opportunity to go out there before they open it up to show that it's, we agree that it's safe?
Yeah, Mayor, our staff would be approving that the day before. That wouldn't be on Thanksgiving Day. They're planning on having that work completed Wednesday. But yes, we would not open that unless we ensured it was safe and they complied with all the guidelines that need to happen.
Super, thank you. I see Sherry shaking her head in the affirmative, and just, I trust them, but verify, please. Okay. All right. Any other questions okay. Okay, we'll go to oral communications. Members of the audience, speakers are limited to 5 minutes or as may be determined by the chair. If you would like to call and talk to us, please call number listed on the television, on the monitors. Okay. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes. John? Okay, seeing there's no callers, we'll move on to the city manager report.
Nothing to report at this time.
City attorney report.
Nothing to report from me, Mayor.
Members of the city council, does anyone have anything to to report on the meetings attended by at the city's expense? Okay. All right. We have to set a date for Parks and Recreation and Public Safety Commission interviews.
Have we, Deborah, we haven't advertised for it yet, or have we?
Yes, we've advertised. We advertised. We advertised for public safety vacancies in July. We advertised for Parks and Recreation Commission vacancies in September.
And what's our response?
So for the Parks and Recreation Commission, we currently have 4 vacancies, and we've received 3 applications. So we would have to re-advertise that opening to get more applications. For the public safety, we received 8 applications for 2 vacancies.
So it sounds
That was when were those applications for those 2 spots for public safety? When were they accepted? Because we've really prolonged this whole thing because of this COVID thing. I'm not sure that we shouldn't request additional application time.
Well, for public safety, we wouldn't have to. We've only got 2 vacancies, and 9 applications. So we wouldn't have to extend that and re-advertise.
I think Emmett's question was, when was the close of that application period for public safety? Just approximately.
So July,
it's
we
just-
advertised, so it was the end of August. We usually do it for a month.
Okay, are we under some statutory requirement that we cannot go ahead and reopen it again due to the time frame that's been involved? I mean, this went, we took those applications 5 months ago, and now we have these positions that are there. We're not even sure if all these people are still interested, or other people are voicing their interest. And because we now have more Parks and Rec openings, I'm just not sure that it wouldn't be prudent for us to open
I'd actually like to table setting a date for either one of these. And for another matter, many moons ago, I had actually brought up to our past city manager about having a discussion regarding policies and procedures related to our appointments, our commissions, and our committees. And that never materialized. And I think there's a number of things that perhaps the council should discuss as it relates to who we appoint onto our commissions, our committees, and our appointments, committees, and commissions. And I think, there's a whole litany of things to discuss, from AB 1234 training for everybody that gets appointed to our commissions, to matters dealing with, how our commissioners, represent themselves in the different capacities. So I'd actually like to agendize a discussion, whereas the staff could actually send out to council the commissioner handbooks, and anything, any collateral that we actually provide to anyone we appoint to any of these positions. Give us the opportunity to review them, have some discussion regarding areas that we can tighten up and address, and then move forward with interviews and what have you following the outcome of that discussion. I don't know, is there anyone else that would be interested in that?
I'm interested in that, Ryan. That's a good idea. But I'll say that the Parks and Rec Commission now only has 3 commissioners. They cannot hold meetings because they need 4 commissioners to hold a meeting. The Parks and Rec Commission, we should move forward. I agree, but since we're in the middle of a lot of vacancies, I think we need to get some commissioners on the Parks and Rec Commission. And I mean, the public safety. I mean, there's a lot of people interested, and there's 2 vacancies. I would go forward with them too, but I'll leave that up to you, the liaisons to that commission, because there's a lot of other commissioners there, and the business can go on. So I'd request we do but I would say that we need to reopen the application period for the Parks and Rec Commission anyway, and let it go through the end of December. Or I don't know how that would work, but. The next meeting for Parks and Rec is like January 19th, I think.
Well, that was part of the staff report talked about the meeting, and the next meeting for both commissions normally would be January. But because that's when the new city manager is coming on board, staff thought that it would be best to wait until February when he's brought on board and brought up to speed.
That's
on the commissions. So, and the commissioners were actually notified that was a plan that we were working on.
So, that's fine with me, but I will say that the Parks and Rec Commission has some ideas or projects or whatever you want to call it that we may want to include as things to discuss as part of the budget. So the commission at least at the last meeting, had wanted to recommend some things to be put in the budget, or at least talked about. So that's why I'm saying that
Well, we're
I
done.
mean, unless we're just going to say we don't need the commissions right now, but I would say we need the Parks and Rec Commission.
Well, I would just, to your point, and part of the reason for even bringing this up to have the discussion is that there, to my understanding, had been a few resignations from the commission recently. And so I think that kind of prompts this discussion about policies and procedures and kind of looking at the whole thing so we can have that continuity. Because what I don't want is two people driving the commission's recommendation when we're supposed to have a good, diverse group of folks contributing, and if we need to push a couple things down to get this in order, I think that we should, personally.
Well, currently, we're down to how many on Parks and Rec?
We have the
Three
youth
total.
commissioner and two
So there's only
Chair.
three?
Chair?
The new chair is part of the commission. There's another, so Jan Bartolo, Anthony.
So there's really only, from what I understand, I think three. And then,
Right.
if we appointed three to fill the 4 vacancies, that would be 6. Which is,
Yes, so that, I do agree that we could do that, but, and that's, I don't know anything about the applicants who have applied, and we'd want to review them, so they're not like automatically appointed simply because there's, they were the only ones who applied, and there's openings. So, you'd want to have some interviews and stuff, but anyway, I don't know I'll let the rest of the council discuss it, but I think we need to move forward with the Parks and Rec Commission, and I might meet you halfway and say, well, let's get 2 people in there at least so we can do some business, because you don't want to have these commissions out of commission, so to speak.
Well, I think the discussion can probably happen in the time, because if we're not having our commission meetings until February, then that gives us the next meeting to kind of have the discussion to frame what we need to talk about moving forward, and maybe by the second meeting in January, we should be wrapped up, get our appointments done by the second meeting in January, and we're up and running in February. And that would be that's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I think, something like that.
So Dennis, are you still holding your second?
I think this is fine, what you suggested. I know the senior commission's not having any problems whatsoever, and we've been meeting by Zoom.
And that's all good, but the Parks Commission can't meet now because it doesn't have a quorum.
Well, open it up, as you suggested, and that makes sense, and put a limit on it, and then interview them.
Yeah, I agree with recruiting. I agree with opening it up. If we can get the recruitment done by the first or second week in January, do the interviews by the second meeting so we can do the appointments in the second meeting in January, and you're up and running in February. I agree
If
with
we could
that.
have that as the goal, I would go along. So then staff would have to provide whatever information. We only have one more meeting this year, unless we were to have one on Christmas Eve, but I don't think we're going to. So we did that one year, by the way, the day after Christmas. But anyway, so yeah, so staff would have to provide everything. We'd have to adopt a policy at the first meeting in January. Is that sort of the idea?
Well, I think the next meeting, we would have it agendized. We'd have some discussion about the various points we want to talk about in December. And then hopefully when we come back in January, we would have some sort of framework to be able to look at, tweak, and adopt. And then we move forward into our second meeting.
Okay. I think it'll all work out time-wise, because you'd probably keep the application period open till early January, end of December, or?
if I fly it next week, I'll run it to the end of December,
Okay.
and then see what we have the first week of January.
Okay. I think it's all going to work out then.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, any additional info?
We do need to make reappointments. That was part of the staff report as well.
Can we make the appointments this evening? There's 2 people on that is the senior commission that need to be reappointed, they're both very active.
Senior commission's not up yet. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, they are. It's equestrian commission, 1 equestrian commissioner, and 2 senior commissioners that need reappointments.
Who, I don't have that. Who would it be?
The Equestrian Commission is Mignon.
No.
The Senior Commission is Paul Brochet and Veronica Saucedo.
Mignon's been great on my end, so
I'd
I
like to make
support
a
it.
motion to reappoint the Senior Commission, Paul Boucher and Veronica Saucedo.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulate them for us, please.
And I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Mignon, what's her last?
Andred,
What?
Andrade. I'm not sure.
Endred to the Equestrian Commission. Thank you.
I thought Eric was the guy in charge of the Equestrian Commission.
Well, we're still in the transit. Sorry, Eric. Do you like her?
Yeah, I think we I think we need to have a meeting.
She
first.
served well. I can vouch for her. She's been a great asset.
Perfect. That sounds good to me. I'm glad.
All right, my bad. I apologize.
Okay, just,
And then the staff report does mention that Jan Bartolo and Ivan Magana are up for reappointment to the Parks and Rec Commission, so I would move that they be reappointed.
Oh, wait. Point of order. I think, did we vote on Mignon?
Oh, did we?
I don't think we did.
Sorry.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Eric, you got a reappointment. Super. Okay, John?
Sorry.
Just what I said, just rerun the tape and you'll, reappoint those two, Jan and Ivan.
Second.
No, there was a second.
So you need to vote on that one as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay, members of the city council. We talked about the date.
Did we do public safety? I see Albert Bear for public safety.
Why did I not have this in my thingy?
Way at the back, next to the last.
Okay, Albert Bear.
Second. Is that a motion, Emmett?
No, I don't make motions. You make motions.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Oh, he's on my commission. Yeah, absolutely. I move to reappoint Albert Bear to
Second.
public safety.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Albert Bear. And you'll notify him?
Yeah, I'll let him know.
They all get letters
Thank
of
you very much.
reappointment.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I see this, it says appoint city council representative to the San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control Board of Trustees. I thought we took care of that with Councilman Vienna about 2 meetings ago.
They've had enough
But
of me.
that was to fill your unexpired term. Every January, I was notified by the board that the cities have to reappoint someone to either a 2 or a 4-year term. So that's what this item is for.
All right. Anybody want it other than Brian?
I'm happy to keep
I
mosquito
move that
in.
we appoint Ryan to this commission.
I'll second that.
Thanks. Took 3 years to get this far, so.
So, okay. All in favor of Ryan to being the vector control guy?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And as I understand, there is no alternate to the vector control. Okay? And we went through this once, but we'll do it once more time.
I'm going to recuse myself from that vote for myself, just because.
No, your council members' reports on meetings attended at the expense of the local agency. I think we went through that and there was none. City council requests for future agenda items. You've already talked about that?
I'm not the, well, is anyone else? I don't know. I'm one guy.
Yeah, but I thought you said you had a request, or somebody had a request.
Thank you, sir.
All right, city council remarks. John?
I don't really have anything tonight. Thanks. So I'm leaving it for you, Emmett, so I don't use everything up.
We're in trouble. Okay, Eric?
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I think this year in particular, I can certainly reflect back on a lot of things that I have to be thankful for. I'm a lot more fortunate than a lot of people in 2020. So, number one thing that I'm absolutely thankful for is my family's health. We've made it through all of the trials and tribulations of 2020 relatively unscathed as far as our health goes, and that's a big deal this year. And I know that for many, finding something to be thankful for in 2020 might be searching for a diamond in the rough, but I just, encourage everybody to do some soul searching and find that thing that you're thankful for, because there's something in 2020 that is here for everybody, and it's going to be challenging for some people to find that. But try to find it. I think it'll do a lot of good for everybody to put out the negativity and the doom and gloom, and look at the bright side of what we have.
Well, in 2 days we have Thanksgiving, and I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. And I still think that we have a lot of things to be thankful for, especially living in San Dimas. It could be a lot worse. And I think staff is handling the virus thing very well, and I appreciate that. And just to the audience out there, just stay healthy and try to wear a mask when you can, and have a good holiday. Thank you.
Ryan?
Thanks, Mayor. I, too, wanted to wish everyone a very blessed Thanksgiving. I think, like Eric said, we have a lot to be thankful for living here in our community. I'm very thankful for all the work that the staff's done throughout the year, throughout all of this, the pandemic, the budget, the transitions in staff and in leadership. I think there's been a lot of moving parts this year, and I appreciate everything staff's done through all of it to keep this city running. And I mean every member of staff, to include, the gatekeeper and the person responding in the middle of the night that goes out when somebody hits a fire hydrant or, runs through equestrian fence or whatever. Bottom line is, there's so many people seen and unseen that make this city work, and I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. You are appreciated, you are valued, and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And to the community members who've worked and sacrificed and been flexible and, understanding, it's been, highs and lows this year, painful moments for many, no matter what, whatever the issues have been, it's been a tough year, I think, for everybody. So, pray to God or a higher power that you all have a great Thanksgiving. Be well, stay safe. As Dennis said, wear your mask, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
I, too, want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And with everything going on in our community and in our world today, let's start thinking about that Thanksgiving and think about where we go from here, go through the holidays, all the Christmas holidays. We are very, very fortunate here in San Dimas. I'd like to take just a moment. If Brad, could you fill us in a little bit more on what's happening December 5th with the virtual 12 Days of San Dimas?
Yes, Mayor. On December 5th, on our cable channel and also streamed online, we will be, I believe it's 6 o'clock, doing a virtual tree lighting. So there's been a whole program that's been filmed. The street down in Bonita was closed down a couple weeks ago to film a production that has a lot of musical performances, guest people that are involved in the video production, and the tree lighting. So that kind of kicks off our 12 Days in San Dimas, which includes many events that are available on our website. We'll also be advertising those on our social media. But on December 5th, 6 o'clock is when that production will go live, and you can see that tree be lit in real time. It'll also be actually turned on at 6 o'clock in downtown. So you'll be able to enjoy that throughout December. So I think that sums up the December 5th.
Having watched quite a bit of the virtual tree lighting ceremonies and things that are going on, I think the staff has put together something along with a business here in San Dimas that I think the entire community is going to be proud of and enjoyed. And with that being said, I do have one additional comment. And as we all know, this last week or so, 10 days, Veterans Day was there. Okay, and the Heroes program here in the city normally does a nice Heroes program at the monument. Unable to do that this year, I noticed that on K West, the Heroes program did a remarkable job on putting together a salute to the veterans here in San Dimas, and they went through each name and supplied a photo of each person who had their name engraved on the monument. I just want to commend that committee for what a job well done. It looked great, and quite honestly, I've seen it now a couple, 2 or 3 times. Quite honestly, I didn't recognize anybody's name, but it's pretty nice, especially being a veteran of some type, seeing what they're doing over there, and it looked real nice, and I think they did a heck of a good job, and I want to thank them for that and for remembering the veterans. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Did you hear him? He moved it. You seconded it. Good night.